All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about the hair-on-fire moment that education is going through. It's this massive collision between our schools and artificial intelligence, and it means we have to completely rethink what it even means to be a teacher today.
And this quote, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? For over a century, our school system has basically been a factory. Its job was to churn out predictable, reliable workers for the industrial machine. But what happens when the machines start making their own parts? Well, you get a system-wide shock, a total collision.
And look, this isn't some abstract, far-off problem we can deal with later. This is happening right now, in real time. And it's forcing us to ask a really fundamental, kind of scary question. In a world full of AI, what is school actually for anymore?
So here's the bottom line. For 100 years, we've been training people for a world that is vanishing before our eyes. We taught them how to find that one single correct answer in the back of the textbook. But now, they're walking into a world where there is no back of the book. In fact, the book is being rewritten by AI every single second.
So to figure out where we need to go, we first have to get really honest about where we are. We hear this term all the time, the factory model of education. But what does that really mean? And why is it hitting such a hard wall right now?
This really breaks it down. You've basically got two different operating systems in conflict. The old way was a deterministic system. Its logic was simple. If this, then that. It's predictable, black and white. But the new reality, the AI reality, is probabilistic. It's not about certainty, it's about likelihoods, patterns, and a whole lot of what-ifs. The old system just can't function in a world that operates on maybes.
And this isn't just theory, right? This system has literally conditioned us to behave in certain ways. It trained us to argue to be right instead of exploring to learn. It rewarded us for faking certainty and punished us for ever admitting, I don't know. And more than anything, it demanded compliance over creativity. These aren't character flaws in people. They're the design features of an outdated system.
Okay, so if the old job of the teacher, the dispenser of information, is obsolete, then what's the new one? This right here is the pivot. It's the moment we shift from being a grader of answers to a coach for the thinking process itself. The focus isn't on the what anymore, it's all about the how.
Which brings us to this brilliant concept, the neural athlete. This is the new kind of student we need to be training. A neural athlete is someone who's constantly juggling information. They're weighing what the AI says against what they know in their gut to be true and what the specific situation demands. It's like sprinting on a treadmill that's constantly changing speed and incline without warning. You need a whole new kind of coach for that.
And that's the million-dollar question for every teacher, every parent, every leader out there. How do you actually do that? How do you coach someone to thrive on that constantly shifting treadmill? Well, answering that question leads us right to the solutions.
So let's get practical. How do we make this happen? The great news is we're not starting from scratch here. There is a playbook emerging for this transformation, a clear guide for turning teachers into the mentors, the role models, and the neural coaches this new world desperately needs.
It really comes down to 4 huge, actionable strategies that completely redefine what a teacher does. And these aren't just little classroom tips. These are fundamental shifts that change the entire game of learning.
First things first, teachers have to stop grading the AI's homework. Seriously, if a student uses AI to write a paper, grading that paper is a complete waste of time. The real value, the coaching moment, is in developing the student's ability to judge, to manage, and to synthesize all that information before a single word gets generated. That's where the learning is.
Number 2, we have to flip the whole conversation about cheating. Instead of trying to catch students using AI, we should encourage what's called intelligent disobedience. We actually reward them for trying to break the AI, for finding its biases, its weak spots, and its weird, made-up hallucinations. Their job shifts from being a consumer to being a critic.
Third, we have to build resilience, or, to use a better word, anti-fragility. The old system made us terrified of failure. A red X was a bad thing. But this new approach says failure is where the growth happens. We need to create assignments where mistakes are part of the plan. The grade isn't for getting it right the first time, the grade is for the pivot, for how you learn and adapt after you mess up.
And finally, the 4th strategy, this one is the most human of all. In a world where AI can pretend to be an expert on anything, a teacher's greatest superpower is their own vulnerability. When a teacher can say, you know what, I don't have the answer, let's find out together, they create the psychological safety students need to stop pretending and to start actually thinking for themselves. So when you put all these pieces together, coaching, cognitive energy, encouraging intelligent disobedience, building resilience through failure, and leading with vulnerability, what's the big takeaway? It's that the future of education isn't about getting better technology. It's about becoming more human.
Just let that sink in. All the things the old factory model tried to stamp out of us, our empathy, our nuanced judgment, our vulnerability, those are now the core of the human advantage. They are literally our superpowers in the age of AI.
And that, right there, is the new job description. The machines can give us a billion answers in a blink of an eye. Answers are cheap now. What's priceless is knowing the right question to ask. The job of the modern teacher, the mentor, the coach, is to be the architect of curiosity. Because in a world drowning in answers, the future belongs to the person who can ask the right questions.